Hey there, party goblins. I am the Goblin King, and I'm back with you for another look at the pathetic, tearful circle jerk that is our modern-day pop culture. Today, I figured we'd dive into that almost literal example of mutual masturbation that is the Oscars. You know, like everybody else. Hell, it even made Tim Pool do a video on it yesterday. A video during which he insulted the YouTubers covering the event, which I thought was more than a little mean-spirited, especially since he thought it was newsworthy enough to be covering himself. Anyway, what we're covering today isn't the slappening, though that will certainly get talked about invariably. Nah, we're covering the fact that not even that act of desperation could save the Oscars this year. Though, according to the woke trash website Deadline, it appears that at some point this year, the Oscars did get a bit of a ratings spike at some point the other night. There seems to be some sort of metric floating around Twitter, first posted by that umbrella guy, We Loves Tug, that shows that spike happening after Will Smith pulled up his big girl panties and slapped a man. Deadline states that, according to Nielsen, the spike actually happened much earlier in the show. Apparently, during some sort of sign language delivered speech. If I'd actually watched the Oscars in decades, I could give more context to that, but I haven't been arsed since at least the 90s when I was slightly more impressionable. Slightly. As the article states here, quote, according to Nielsen time-slot breakdowns, the 2022 Oscars saw no significant surge in viewers after the King Richard star took a whack at comic Rock for a crack about Jada Pinkett Smith's hair. It goes on to state that there was a bit of a jump during Smith's acceptance speech, however. Those numbers were via an update which happened just this morning, by the way. These numbers, the second lowest in history, prove that people are continuing to not give a flying fuck about these Hollywood pieces of shit or what they have to say. We all know that there are only a handful of people out of La La Land that are actually worth a fuck, and very few to none of them ever get nominated for an Academy Award. I mean, maybe if they looked like a 12-year-old boy, Hollywood would pay attention, but as it now stands, most of the people with their heads on straight get straight up ignored by the people with their heads jammed straight up their ass. I mean, they're much too busy screaming gay for 5 minutes in some sort of attempted own of Florida. Thanks to Ryan Kennel for that little tidbit. Jesus fucking Christ. I thought that the idiots over there were at least capable of reading well enough to get through 4 pages. I mean, they have to read their scripts, right? Right? Oh, wait. Sorry. They like grooming children. I forgot that pertinent fact there for a second. I'm ashamed that I ever thought Wanda Sykes was cool. All that being said, however, it is pertinent to note, as also noted by Woke Trash Deadline, that the other night's Oscars did break at least one record during its broadcast. And no, it wasn't for the most limp-wristed slap in history. It was actually in social media coverage, apparently. According to this little bit here, the award show actually got 22.7 million interactions on social media. Most of that, of course, being centered around the slappening. Those numbers are probably still climbing even as we speak. People are still talking about it. The memes are ongoing, and it doesn't seem like they're going to stop anytime soon. I think Tug said it best in this instance. Will Smith has legit turned his entire career, his legacy, into a fucking meme. I legit used to respect that guy a lot when I was younger. Now he's just a cuck and one more piece of Hollywood trash. One thing I do feel I should point out here, because it really grated on my nerves when I read it. I've mentioned before that grammatical and spelling errors are like nails on a chalkboard for me, yeah? Well, check this out. This is how you know a supposed news outlet is absolute garbage, in my opinion. Now, I could forgive a typo every now and again, to be fair. It would still grate on me, but I could understand it. However, this is just editorial failure right here. Whooping? It's whopping, you fucking troglodytes. Whopping. You know, like Whopper. Something I'm sure you all sitting on your fat asses over there at Deadline with your body positivity are infinitely familiar with. With all this taken into account, the fact that the Oscars blew up on social media this year with a whopping historic number of interactions, it still didn't save the Oscars this year. However, Tim Pool during his segment on this yesterday did bring up an interesting point which I'll share with you all now. He stated that part of the reason he thought this whole incident was staged is because it did get that interaction on social media. It did blow up Twitter. He stated that he thinks this may very well have been staged to bring interest to next year's Academy Awards show. You know, much for the same reason that a lot of people supposedly watch NASCAR, right? It may very well bring eyeballs back to the Oscars from people hoping to see more drama just like what unfolded a couple of days ago. And to be fair, Tim very well could be right about that. Next year's numbers could very well be back up to what they were a couple of years ago. Do I think they'll stay there even if they do go up next year? Probably not. Interest will drop off a cliff again if nothing happens next year. Hollywood will have to keep upping the ante on this one, if this was indeed that kind of a gamble by them. Who knows though? Guess we'll find out next year. Anyway, that's all I have for you on this one, Goblins. Let me know what you all thought about everything in that handy section down below. While you're down there, Will Smith has certainly been missing his balls for a while now, and they might be down there somewhere. Also, if you want to join the Viridian Horde, you can do so by crushing those like and subscribe buttons, like a goblin. I'll see you all tomorrow for a movie review and another pop culture bitch slap. See you then. Lates.